Manchester United are working on the formal steps now to see if it's going to be possible to complete all the formal steps of this deal. They're very happy about Dabo as a talent. He could be the next addition to the Manchester United squad.
Just a few days after Manchester United sealed the deal for Cristiano Orozco, the Colombian under-17 captain locked in for 2026. Fabrizio Romano confirmed the next name on the list, Mouhamed Dabo, 17 years old, captain of Senegal's under-17s, compared to Yaya Touré. Invited to La Masia by Barcelona, tracked quietly by Borussia Dortmund, and now a key part of INEOS's midfield master plan. So who is Mouhamed Dabo? Why did Barcelona want him first? And what does this reveal about Manchester United's plan to finally fix a midfield that's haunted them for nearly 2 decades? Manchester United's transfer strategy is shifting. Big names still matter, but behind the scenes, INEOS are quietly building a new midfield core for the future, stockpiling young leaders before they become unreachable. Yes, Manchester United fans know hype alone means nothing. We've seen next big things fade before, but this isn't random scouting. It's a deliberate strategy. Collect tomorrow's midfield generals now, so we never miss another Moises Caicedo moment. This time, Manchester United couldn't afford to let another one slip away. Let's rewind. Because this story starts long before Carrington and long before Mouhamed Dabo ever walked the tunnel at Old Trafford. Manchester United's history has always been written through its midfield generals. Brian Robson, the warrior captain who carried the club through the 80s. Roy Keane, the enforcer, the heartbeat of Sir Alex Ferguson's greatest sides. Paul Scholes, the maestro whose retirement left a void you can still feel today. And Michael Carrick, the metronome who brought calm to chaos. But after that golden chain, the spine cracked. Paul Pogba arrived with all the talent in the world, but never became the anchor United needed. Nemanja Matic passed through. Fred and Scott McTominay gave everything, but couldn't command the spine. Casemiro offered a short-term fix, brilliant at first, but his legs are now fading fast. For nearly 2 decades, Manchester United have tried to win without a true midfield general. And you cannot win anything with a soft spine, and right now, that weakness is obvious. Ruben Amorim has been forcing Bruno Fernandes into a deeper role, a position that doesn't suit his instincts. Manuel Ugarte, meanwhile, has yet to settle. And even Kobbie Mainoo, as talented as he is, isn't fully trusted to carry the midfield alone. INEOS know this. They're not just thinking about the next season, they're planning years ahead, and that's why they're stockpiling midfield talent. Kobbie Mainoo, Toby Collier, Sekou Kone, Jim Thwaites. Recently, Manchester United agreed a deal for Cristiano Orozco, the captain of Colombia's under-17. And now, perhaps the crown jewel, the captain of Senegal's under-17s, Mouhamed Dabo, 17 years old, compared to Yaya Touré. But is he the answer to Manchester United's midfield curse, or just the next gamble? The story of Mouhamed Dabo doesn't begin under the floodlights of Old Trafford. It begins in Senegal, on pitches where the grass barely covers the dirt, where football is played for love, not for money. Born on the 24th of March 2008, Mouhamed Dabo grew up in Dakar, Senegal, raised in a football culture that values fight as much as flair. By 15, he was at B Sport Academy, one of the country's most ambitious academies. From the very first sessions, coaches noted the same thing: presence. This wasn't just another gifted teenager trying to find his place. He had authority. At 16, that authority was rewarded. He became the captain of Senegal's under-17 national team, leading out his country at youth level, dictating the tempo, carrying pressure that would overwhelm others his age. Word spread quickly. Barcelona brought him to La Masia on trial for a month. He impressed, and they stayed interested. Borussia Dortmund, always circling for the next diamond, tracked him too. But then Manchester United moved. Under INEOS and Christopher Vivell, the strategy is clear. Never again miss the chance to secure the next Moises Caicedo. Never again watch a generational midfielder slip through their fingers. So when Mouhamed Dabo spent several weeks at Carrington in September, the feedback was glowing. Reports said United staff were impressed by his all-round skills, clean tackling, vision, composure. And then came the photo. Mouhamed Dabo, pictured inside Old Trafford, walking through the famous tunnel beneath the Theatre of Dreams sign. The image that sent speculation into overdrive. Was this just another trialist passing through? Or was this the beginning of Manchester United's next midfield general? So, what kind of midfielder is Mouhamed Dabo, really? At first glance, he looks like the archetype of a modern defensive midfielder. Tall, rangy, with the ability to cover ground quickly. But watch closely, and you see the details that make scouts whisper his name. Defensively, he isn't reckless. His tackles are clean, often coming from reading the game a step earlier than his opponent. He positions himself to intercept before danger fully develops. The mark of a controller, not just a destroyer. On the ball, he has the rare gift of composure. At 17, many players panic, choosing the safe sideways pass. Mouhamed Dabo opens his body, angles himself to receive under pressure, and looks forward. His instinct is always progression, not retreat. Physically, at 6 feet 1 inch, he has the frame to cope with elite football. But more importantly, he works. Tireless running, stamina to press, and the athleticism to burst out of midfield when needed. But there's a crucial catch. Because of FIFA regulations, Mouhamed Dabo can't move permanently to Europe until he turns 18 next March. Any potential signing would see him remain in Senegal until 2026, before officially linking up with the club. The same applies to Cristiano Rosco, who is also expected in 2026. That means for now, he remains a future piece. One of several midfielders United are lining up for when Casemiro leaves. For all the excitement, there's an unavoidable truth. Mouhamed Dabo is still a projection. He hasn't played senior football. He can't move to Europe until 2026. Manchester United's strategy, stacking promising midfielders for the future, is smart on paper, but it carries risk. Stockpiling talent doesn't guarantee a generational player will emerge. It can also clog the pathway, leaving young prospects lost behind established stars or shipped out on loan after loan. United fans know this story. For every Kobbie Mainoo who steps up calm and composed, there have been many who didn't. Andreas Pereira, James Garner, Adnan Januzaj, all once hyped as the next big thing, but never truly solved United's problems. That's the risk of long-term bets. The club can prepare, but football doesn't always follow the plan. Manchester United's recruitment team are playing chess, but the Premier League plays checkers fast. Planning for 2026 makes sense in a boardroom, yet manager Ruben Amorim is fighting to win games now. INEOS clearly want to avoid panic buying and repeat mistakes like the Moises Caicedo saga, when Manchester United hesitated and Brighton and Hove Albion signed him for just £4 million. They are protecting tomorrow, but the Premier League punishes weakness today. It is a tension with no easy answer. Invest now and risk overspending. Invest in potential and risk waiting too long. Manchester United are trying to do both. Rebuild the spine slowly, while hoping Ruben Amorim squeezes results from a midfield still under construction. If this strategy sounds familiar, it should. Long before billion-pound takeovers and social media speculation, Sir Matt Busby built greatness from youth. The Busby babes weren't signed as finished stars. They were gathered young, taught the United way, and trusted to grow into legends. Decades later, Sir Alex Ferguson revived that same principle. The class of '92, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Gary Neville, all homegrown, all given time to develop before carrying Manchester United into an era of dominance. Now INEOS seem determined to return to that blueprint. Instead of chasing overpriced, short-term solutions, they are quietly building the next generation. Cristiano Rosco, Diego Leon, Sekou Kone, and now Mouhamed Dabo. Not every player will become a superstar, but the strategy creates a pipeline of possibility, a future spine strong enough to anchor Old Trafford for a decade. It is a gamble, yes, but it is also a return to identity. A club once built on daring to trust youth is daring again. So when you see Fabrizio Romano break the news about the next young player linked to Manchester United, remember, this isn't just about one wonderkid transforming the team. It's about a club rediscovering what once made it powerful. Vision, courage, and patience. If this strategy works, it could be the start of another dynasty built the old United way, not bought overnight, but grown and trusted, just as Sir Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson did before.